now, let's hop straight in to Coda, where we have 2 players here for our first Protoss of the day. You know what, Ben? I'll let you introduce him.
Hell yeah! So, spawning on Coda in the 10 o'clock spawn. In blue, representing FM Esports, the infamous Protoss and first seed in this tournament, I give to you Boombox.
Oh, cheers. I've always wanted one.
Play some fat beats out of that.
Yeah, fat beats. DJ Fresh Beats will be bringing his fresh beats to Epic LAN 8. That sounds fair and balanced. With the awesome suggestions down here in the bottom right-hand corner.
Before Century Rush.
Yeah, down here in the bottom right-hand corner, we've got the pink Zerg player representing TSI. It is Aicy.
It's Pride at Twitch. What's going on?
Kappa Pride. Have you seen Kappa Pride? It's a relatively new Kappa. Look, I'll put it out in the chat. 3 minutes ago, you'll understand why I said Kappa Pride. Look, it's like a rainbow
yeah,
Kappa.
That's
like
pretty much what I thought.
Gay Pride Kappa.
That's what I thought it would be. There we go. It all makes sense now.
Pretty sick. Pretty sick.
Yeah, so there it is. Going for that gateway before anything else. The Bay Gateway, of course.
Gate Bay.
Why did I not say that? I'm so mad.
Because you're a fool, Ben.
I am a fool.
You're not strong in the ways of pun like I am.
I'm sorry.
You need to be wearing your punning trousers.
Getting the Gateway. And I imagine that will just be to get a quick expansion. You often do follow a swift expansion. I follow a gateway with a swift expansion. Of course, maybe if it was down at the front, that would give it away a little bit too much, but at the same time would create quite a strong wall quite quickly, whilst at the same time maybe being a little bit cheese weak. And of course, Boombox quite possibly knows that Aicy does have a few tricks up his sleeve if he was paying any attention to the ZVZ series earlier. I have no idea if he actually was, but we might find out if he's the winner and he gets interviewed. We can ask him.
Very, very true. And I mean, one of the advantages, he's gone for this Pro Scout, and that's something I've actually only recently started bothering to do on ladder, and it really does allow you a lot more flexibility in whether or not you put that cyber core down for the wall off, if you're a Protoss, for example, or whether you just go for the straight up Nexus. And Aicy actually getting away with the 3 hats before pool, pretty much blind. It is brave, but I think he's gonna, I think he's gonna get away with that. As I said, with a very later cyber core from Boombox, actually going double the simulator before the cyber core. This doesn't seem normal to me.
It's very gas heavy. That says
when there's nothing to spend it on.
It says fast Stargate to me.
Yeah,
like that's very fast Stargate. But 2 in each, I guess, maybe not. But then you tend to transition into more. What you can do with that kind of opening, though, the potential that gives you is for stuff like Stargate with a bit of harassment, or Stargate into an all-in, depending on how you play it. Or it's just confusing. If you have 2 and 1, as we did a minute ago, now 2 and 2, it does maybe detract a little bit from Aicy's knowledge of what's going on. Although by this point, with the 2 and 2 styles, people tend to be aware of the fact that that's a thing that people do.
Like, true.
It's not just Wings of Liberty where you either have 3 in your gas or you have nothing in your gas. Gas management is a fine art. It's a science now.
Oh yeah, it's developing more and more and more, especially with the players like one of the recent up-and-comers, Lilbo, the recent WCS Season 2 finalist in Toronto. His builds are really tight. If you look at his build, like he'll put 1 on gas for like 2 trips or something and pull it out, and everything. He'll get supply blocks like just long enough that he... I was talking to Funker about this, and he described it a lot better than I am. I'm neither a Protoss player nor a WCS finalist, but yeah, Lilbo has some of the tightest builds, and part of that is his gas management. It's becoming, a really big thing here. It's pretty cool.
You remember, man, when I used to do like build design and stuff, and I work on that, I was always just like, oh, it's so important. You have to get everything exactly right, otherwise it all falls apart. But until the point where you get that, you have the skills to do that, which obviously I never did. It's very, very difficult to pull off. That's Sentry in maybe a little bit of trouble. Yeah, 2 lings. 1 attack off killing a sentry. Damn.
That is pretty close.
That does not a happy Protoss make.
I mean, yeah, so far, Aicy promised not to use, Boombox promised not to use force field, and he's good at the minute, but he's building a suspiciously high number of sentries for somebody who's not going to use force fields.
True. A good thought, but maybe it's for Guardian Shield Rush.
Maybe
he's worried about extremely quick hiking. Or muted.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not actually that good on Hydras because it only takes 2 damage off and Hydras hit like trains. But at the same time...
Like fast trains.
True. Quick trains. But yeah, a lot of gas coming out for Boombox, not going towards that Stargate because he didn't go into the heaviest gas mode. Only got 2 in one of his ones on the natural. Don't know if that's deliberate or if that is just a slight... Yeah, I think it might be a risk. But we'll see what happens. And now those sentries moving out. Do you think maybe he decided to go for the sentry play just because his opponent said don't? That's the kind of thing I would do.
I think this is just more the standard meta. The expansion, the defensive sentries for the expansion is a little bit unusual. Like, just with how late the mothership core is, usually you get a faster mothership. At the minute, the meta is the baguette protoss, which we all know and love.
Sorry, could you please tell me what the baguette protoss is?
I'm about to explain. No, but there's a bunch of really strong French protoss like Lilbo, like Petit Drogo, like all the other French protosses.
I love that that's a thing.
The baguette protoss.
The baguette protoss.
And yeah, you get a bunch of sentries, move out with that mothership core, and if you get surrounded, you recall. It's the aggressive defense. If they're threatening your nexus, your third nexus, you just recall, and you build up a ton of sentries, get a bunch of blink stalkers, as we see the Twilight Council coming out for Boombox, get great upgrades, and that is the new endgame death ball for Protoss. It's Stalker Sentry, mix in some High Templars when it gets really tough, but mainly to feedback Vipers more so than the actual damage, but it's scary. It's really scary.
Just heavy gateway forces. Stalkers are the new Marines. They're like if Marines could teleport and didn't have as much DPS. But yeah, this is quite a nice thing, of course. Pushing out from Boombox. Not that many Lings ready to defend, but Ling Hydra, when it gets established, will probably be okay here. Although, with good force fields, of course, it's not having it. See, there's the force field going straight down. Those Lings from Aicy, not any use anymore. Queen is killed off in the base. You're going to see these gas mining drones killed off as well. Another push. Yes, perfect position. There's so little that Aicy can do. The Hydras are going to help a lot, but only if they can get anywhere near.
You have to keep his Monster Core alive. Yeah, the Monster Core is getting a little low, and with Hydras on the field, he did not want to lose that Monster Core, because that means losing the sentries, and that could well mean the game. But
it's just a little bit of harassment.
Yeah, as is, a little bit of harassment. That's all it has to be. Just keeping the Zerg honest, keeping him using his lava.
No such thing as an honest Zerg.
Well, yes, there's the Protoss. He says he's not going to use force fields.
Hey,
forget Protoss.
We all knew that was a lie.
Yeah, but only because it was coming from Protoss. If a Zerg told you he wasn't going to use force fields, I'd believe him.
I would believe him, and yet he could still be lying.
He could still be lying.
As long as it's CVP.
Neural Parasite is definitely viable.
Yes. Yes, it can be, occasionally. It's happened before.
Yeah, in Wings of Liberty, when it actually had range. Either way, Spire coming in for Aicy. He wants to try and get some Nucleus out to deal with this, but it's going to be tough in the face of the Blink Stalkers. +2 and Blink is going to finish up at the same time. Nice force field, picked off a couple of Hydras, picked off the Lings. And it's going to be tough for Aicy to actually find a way to push in here. Boombox is defending the multiple fronts very, very nicely with a little bit of a Sentry Immortal force up here and the Blink Stalkers on the top. Now he decides he's got enough. He's going to move back down and group up, but Aicy is moving round the right hand
Yeah,
side.
I like that. Moving up that side is going to give him a nice position to besiege the third, although if he comes around this side, he might get caught. Yeah, nearly gets caught out of position. 2 Hydras going to be lost for very little return there. But with the army out of position, I'd love to see a little poke into the third base, even though what we're really seeing is a return of the Hydras to the base, because I think, yeah, it looks like Boombox is pushing out. He's ready. He's got his 3 races. He's got his economy. Here comes the Hydra attack. This is designed mostly to draw the forces back. Yeah, it got a recall. That's exactly what you want.
Solid. 1 Hydra goes down, and
You're going to lose the war.
oh, you can poke fire down a couple of sentries.
Yep, that's a big deal.
Yeah, that's pretty nice. He gets 2 sentries. Could have gotten 3 if he'd focused fire down the one that was low health, but whatever. Nucleus out now for Aicy, and as Boombox moves across the map again, he's going to encounter a couple slightly misfiring Nucleus, which is good for him because he picks up like 3 Nucleus, but also bad because now he's way out on the map. And Aicy has those Nucleus which can move in the middle line. Oh, you know what?
Blink Stalkers.
Boombox is ready. Blink Stalkers, ready, prepared, blink forwards. Don't quite get a Nucleus, and Boombox keeps on moving forwards. Aicy doesn't have that critical Nucleus count to be able to actually fight Blink Stalkers, like, at all.
Yeah, he's got like some force back at home, but now they're new to the split up. All that gas being spent on these, they can't really engage in a direct battle. The force fields are looking good, keeping the Hydras away from the army. I like to see these Stalkers blink back. Yep, bit of a big chunk coming like that, and I think Boombox is going to retreat for now. A nice hold by Aicy, but he needs to make sure he keeps up those engagements. We've already seen these engagements can be a little bit hit and miss at times in the past.
Yeah, just taking a quick peek at the resources lost, it's vastly in favour of Boombox, 2k to 5.1k. And yeah, pretty strong here, Boombox. Losing Colossus just for intimidation value as much as anything else, I think. And
yeah,
as the Mutas come back home to, you know, the last-ditch defence for Aicy, Boombox brings his Blinkstalkers across the map as well, and this is a scary looking force here.
The Protoss Tsunami is about to hit, and the Zerg is looking pretty Fukushimaed.
Yeah, he is just a little bit there. He's getting as big a concave as he can with those Hydras, but, you know, this is what the sentries are for. Guardian Shield against the Hydras. It was all part of his plan.
It was all part of his plan,
It was all part of his plan.
No, to be honest, like, I don't actually think that is what it's for, but it's nice to have.
Yeah,
it doesn't not help, but we need to see that. We need to see those good engagements go down. Of course, with blinking, it's not too hard to force those a bit more. The Hydras are in a decent concave at this stage.
Yeah, they've got a solid way of taking engagement. But you know what? Boombox actually has a wall prison that's going to, first off, start doing some harassment in the main. And second up, provide high ground vision for these Blinkstalkers to blink up into the main base.
I like it. We're getting a bit of a Zealot warping in the main. The Stalkers picks off that Overseers to make sure, and actually, he's already a bit ready for that. Yet, there we go. It must have been seen by the Eva chamber in the gas, because they're forcing up there ready to defend.
Yeah, they are, and picking up a nice scoop of those roaches. Blink back, doesn't lose anything. Perfect. Oh, one Stalker doesn't have.
But not quite. This is the problem, like, the pullbacks are coming from the wrong side of the... if you pull back on the other side of the force field, then the ones that are going to die anyway keep firing, but it's really hard to have that level of control in the moment. It's so hard to be that mindful, and I don't think, like, even most of the pros do that.
No, it is very, very tough. Boombox just blinking back Stalkers and Stalkers one by one as a Zealot racks up kills over in the fourth base of Aicy. I don't think it's going to get this Roach, but you know, it's already killed one, maybe two Roaches and a bunch of drones, so very, very well done. A little bit of warp in up in the main base as well. +3 upgrades just 10 seconds away for Boombox as well, whereas Aicy still just stuck on his +1, only just coming towards finishing +1 armor, and he starts getting bottom high. Not a big deal.
No, it's
needs to get away with
much
Warframe, and he does. You know what, actually, Aicy doesn't have much here. If Boombox like blinks down to this side and force fields here, that could be a really good engagement.
If you can pull away with it, but it's so hard to, like, it's to fight into that kind of army composition. If you blink forward and you get blinding clouded, you might just die. So I don't think that trying to get an aggressive engagement is necessarily the right idea. Instead, I really like what Boombox is doing, where he's pulling his opponent apart. Sending in the Zealot harassment waves, of course, it is always difficult to fight against like mass spine forces against bases, but it does a good job of taking the units out of position. And even if a few Phoenixes did get poked away by the Hydras, as they try to stab them. Oh, this could be the engagement that Boombox has been waiting for.
Yeah, Boombox has managed to get down. Oh, the blink forwards aggressively as well. Here's the force fields cutting off half the army and fights the other half. Big blinding clouds though do force Boombox to retreat for now. As some of the force fields expire, he has to blink away, but that leaves his sentries and his immortals exposed. But now he's got the high ground again, and Aicy can't move up there.
No, you cannot push up into that kind of army, even when it's just blinked defensively. It just isn't going to work.
Yeah, back home, Boombox is expanding towards his fourth. Starting to get the gas on there. High Templars are starting to mass up their numbers. Storm already done. Dark Shrine's on the way as well. And when a Dark Shrine walks into this fourth base, I think like one DT Zealot walking is just going to kill him.
I think you're right.
Yeah, it's already been taking quite a bit of harassment from Zealots. And with +3 attack as well.
On charge now too. They've just finished charge.
The Storms are going to land.
They come.
Yeah, a little bit of whiff. Only captured 2 Hive lists, but he just killed them off. Mainly this is for feedbacking the Vipers here, and if you can feedback those Vipers, deny those blinding clouds, then that'll be it. That'll be lights out for Aicy. Aicy's trying to take engagement. Nice defensive Storms do enable him to pick off an extra Hive list. And yeah, there's 3 DTs towards that third base. There's nothing to stop them. A big blinding cloud forcing them to go back. The feedbacks have gone down by no more blinding clouds, and a Storm And you know what? Boombox still has plenty left over, 134 on his fight to 124. So he's looking in a great position here as he morphs into Archons.
Yeah, nice control out of our opponent's player, pulling his Zerg opponent all over the map. Now the DT is taking out the third base, sending the drones running to the Stalker Ball as they try and escape. A fourth going down as well to a few more. Everything is suddenly going south for Aicy. All of his economy has been absolutely ravaged. There's an attack in the main base. DT's going to work on the hive. The Stalkers getting out almost scot-free for what they've done. We're going to see a lot of Archons joining that force with their bonus damage versus bio. A tiny little roach strike force in the fourth of Boombox has been recently established. He is going to do a little damage. It's killed off a few workers, 14 in fact, but that is nothing compared to the damage sustained by ourselves.
No, not at all. And the Blink Force from Boombox takes out the last piece of the army. GG. Boombox, after a tough, hard-fought defense by Aicy, when Boombox got those DTs, that was the switch that enabled him to really just turn on that. Right, now this is it. I've been kind of edging around. I know I can't engage into your defensive concave, but I can kill your army if we find a good fight. And I can send a couple of Zelts here, a couple of Zelts there, doing okay harassment, but then the DTs just boom. 3 into the fourth base, 2 into the third base, and I think 2 into the main base as well. And he would have killed the main base. He would have killed the hive if he hadn't just won the game beforehand.
Yeah.
But game 2 is going to be coming up soon. Still though, Boombox showing why he's the #1 seed, definitely there.
His just general
powerful
control of the actual gameplay, because like he made the decisions and then he did what he wanted to do. And the whole time, I know people say Zerg is the reactionary race, but Aicy was left not really controlling the flow, even when he tried by getting Mutalisks. He did maybe get Boombox to get some Phoenixes, but he got them in his own time. He didn't get them, he didn't go, oh no, there's a Spire, I need to throw down these Stargates, panic. He just kind of went, nah, you can't really do anything, you're investing in Hydras. If you overcommit to me, I'll go and kill you. He felt in control and calm. And I really look forward to the after-match interview as well, because I want to see exactly what he thinks of all of that.
Yeah, he's a very calm, methodical player.
Systematic.
Systematic indeed, which is, I feel like exactly how you want to be with that sort of Blink Stalker, Sentry Force. There we go. Very, very calm. You get to dictate the terms of the engagement. With Force Fields, with Blink, you're just, like this is, do I want to take this engagement? No, I'll blink away. Do I want to take this engagement? Yes, but I want to concave. Into a concave, and we saw him use that a couple times, but it really, really gives you a lot of control over the angle of attack and the terrain of the engagement, and really, really well handled there by Boombox.
Great general control of the matchup, and I mean, they say that it's pretty Protoss' favourite matchup at the moment. By they, I mean you, but you always said that. So, you know,
Protoss is always overpowered.
Yeah, that's what you told me. I mean, I now know much less, so I can only trust you. You know, I want to see this. I want to see if Aicy can put it back.
Yeah, Dash and Terminal is an interesting one as well.
I have faith in him. I want to see if you go for oh, you mentioned Dash.
Dash and Terminal, yeah. Mainly for TVZ. This is one of the more vetoed maps for Zerg, but it's going to be a little, I would say, until very recently, I would have said it's going to be very difficult for Boombox to establish a natural if Aicy decides to pressure it. But I actually saw the most incredible defensive Protoss play on this map recently. Like, I thought it was next to impossible to actually really just get your natural down first time in the face of like a fast speedling attack. But I'll show you on the map architecture once we're in. So for now, here we are, the victor of the previous game. As I look at the scoreboard, it is the blue Protoss player from FN Esports. We have Boombox.
And his opponent across this map that reminds me eerily of Scrap Station just by looking at its silhouette. I don't think I mean Scrap Station. I mean, do I mean Scrap Station?
I know the one you mean. The one that had the big air gap.
Yes, the big air gap, but you could shoot tanks across it.
Yeah, I see what you mean actually.
Representing Team SE to Improve in yellow, it's Aicy.
Easy. So yeah, look at the natural base. There's like this is a pretty wide choke here. Just across here. And then you've got the destructor rocks into it.
Oh dear.
Always annoying. And then you've got a hole up here.
Okay.
And, you know, I thought, how do you wall up across that choke? You can actually block this off with one pylon if you position it perfectly. So that's not a huge issue. But
that doesn't
just
look
blocking,
like you should be able to do that.
You can. I know it doesn't, but you can. But even then, just a one pylon wall off, so far away from your wall off, if you get like 3-4 Zerglings attacking that and a few attacking the front, it's very difficult to break through. But once you've got the pylon down, you can wall off pretty easily with the gateway there and a pylon there or something. Yeah. And that's very safe. You can actually wall off between the minerals and this little jutting out bit here with just like, I think you need like pylon, gate, zealot.
Really?
Yeah. So you end up.
This is a very small map, isn't it?
It's mid-sized.
It's got small to medium.
Small medium, yeah. It's got a very short like Reaper and Air Rush distance across these bases, and of course this is the Gangnam Terran map. Yeah. Float that CC onto the
Oh yeah, I see.
Yeah,
wow, that is a really, really short jump.
Yeah, Boombox. Yeah, that's the pylon positioning. Block it off. You get a lot of surface area on the pylon. I think you have like 4 or 5 lings attacking it, but that isn't a hole.
Yeah, from the little piece of scenery.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, it was interesting. You can actually wall it off very quickly, much faster than I thought you could. So, either way, this is interesting from Aicy. Taking the third base as a natural, or the third base location as his second base.
That's cool.
And then taking the natural as a third.
Going greedy again.
Yeah, pretty
Not
greedy. Not as greedy as last game.
Yeah, no.
But still fairly greedy, yeah. Fun stuff.
No, I mean, like, getting for the third, when you go for a third base position first, as a Zerg, what you're basically saying is, I'm in this for a little bit longer. I want to make sure that I get this established and defensible as quickly as possible. And then once everything is safe, once everything is strong, at that point, you tend to see a transition towards big kind of mid-game plays.
Yeah, this is going to be nice from Boombox as well, though. Chroning out a couple of zealots. This is going to be really, really punishing towards this greed from Aicy. Although he didn't go it all before pool, so he does have that spawning pool up and allowing the production of units from lava. He's only got like 4 lings, I think, 2 lings out on 1 queen, and with the mothership core here, it gets there so quickly. This is dash and turn. The 2 zealots are going to be joining up, and it's going to be tough to hold on to this natural even. In fact, yeah, Boombox senses blood and moves up towards the main base where the mothership core beats Queen George with the Queen one-on-one. A zealot adding in 1 or 2 swipe is going to really pick that apart. Yeah, looks like the Queen can take that hand. That means there's nothing to fight the mothership core.
That is a very unusual kind of attack. You don't really see that happen all that often, and yet I absolutely.
It makes sense.
Yeah, it does. It does. It seems like a lot of things make sense with Dash and Terminal that ordinarily wouldn't. So this damage being dealt by the harassing force that is the mothership core of the Zealot. Already, Aicy is having just not the early game he desired, not the early game he was looking for. And could he have predicted this reasonably?
Not quite. This isn't something I've seen in TVZ at least. I think Boombox is going to sack Mothership Core for 2 green probes.
Yeah, I think so as well.
That was a pretty nice little sport for one of their bases, but it does get taken out. Only sacks it for 1 more probe. Drone even, probably not worth it. But
oh no, he's done such good damage.
Overall, I just mean the decision to not run away from that queen. Maybe he couldn't have gotten away anyway. I'm not going to question his decision too much, but the Oracle follow-up is going to be great as well. With so little anti-air, Aicy just has the 1 queen, which is not enough to defend an Oracle. Although he does have this Spore Crawler building. I don't think he's spotted the... Where is the... Oh, yeah, I spotted the Stargate. It's in the Warden. Okay, so you need like 2 pylons and a unit to block this between the minerals and that bit. But either way, yeah. There's so much to talk about in this game. This is really what I want to get some thoughts from Aicy on, and some thoughts from Boombox on the winners interview, or in the interviews. But either way, right now, Lair on the way from Aicy pretty rapidly. He's actually come off gas to quite an extent for now. The Oracle makes its way in towards an natural base, but there is a Spore Crawler there, so it should be able to do much.
More than ready for that. He knows that it's going to be coming down. He's got that Oracle just drifting in, seeing if he's got the opportunity, and actually activating the Pulsar beam maybe a little bit early there, because it's now going to be ticking away. No, he's turned off already.
Still, it costs 25 energy to activate.
Yeah.
Flat cost. But Aicy is building 2 Roach Warrens. than Burrow.
So he's going double Roach upgrade in the sense that it's not double upgrade Roach, but it is in fact double Roach upgrade.
Yes, I like this.
That is a very daft thing. I love it. It is a new and confusing strat. You can send that out through the thing, couldn't you?
No, simulators, they come out where they go in.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
If he had, he didn't have a thing on that simulator, he could have built one and then cancelled it to get the probe out. But units come out of gas mining where they go in.
Yes.
Well, incidentally, 3 oracles here for Boombox now.
Oh, do you reckon he might be doing like 3-4 oracle pressure? Well, no, he's not building any more, so he can't be doing this.
He's building a bunch of gateways though.
Yeah, he's doing oracle gateway pressure. This
Yeah.
is build. You can do this much faster than this if you go for like a straight all in with 1 oracle. You can turn up at about 7, like pretty much 7 minutes 7 if you go gateway first, and you just warp in at 7 minutes 7 seconds with like 7 stalkers and a zealot you already made. And you just walk across the map and kill him. He has nothing against the edge.
Nice. Yeah, this is all a bit delayed, obviously. Boombox did go a bit more aggressive earlier on. And Aicy is trying to mass up roaches, but the thing is, Oracles still kill roaches pretty fast. He's got tons of energy. They're going to be able to do it for ages. Burrow's finished, but Oracles have protection. And Boombox just has the force fields here are great. Where's the detection? There's the detection. Bada bing, bada boom. Laser beams are pretty good here for Boombox.
Yeah, it's going to be really strong. This build with its hidden approach to things may not have been the correct move out of Aicy, with Boombox having so many oracles providing that protection. Of course, it's a limited amount of protection, I guess, is the problem. So with the oracle ticking down in energy all the time, you can't actually reactivate stations once you start burrowing again.
Yeah, no, it cancelled pulse, I think, like, basically now, and one of the oracles might have ended, but not doing it, but it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Aicy just knows he can't hold it. Even with Burrow, he cannot do that. I think that maybe he could have held on a little bit longer in that game, just maybe like trying to mass up roaches, but I guess he probably knows better than I, being a better player than I. And with the forces Boombox increasing by the same amount, I've just convinced myself that I'm wrong.
Well, good job.
So I just commentated my own incorrectness, I think.
Somehow. I think you might have done.
Yeah, that's okay.
It's much less fun than commentating to StarCraft.
It's true, it's true. It's something to do.
So
we've got our man out in the arena.
Yep.
Phase. He's probably going to go and get Boombox.
Finding Boombox, and we're gonna hear some words from him.
Well, he's tired apparently.
But yeah, we're gonna have some questions for him about that build in game number 2, and yeah, I really want to hear his thoughts about how whether that's something he's specially prepared for Dash and Terminal.
It could actually be just based on the way that map is laid out.
Yeah. I think it'd be a really interesting thing to hear him on. But in expected fashion, 2-0. He's now gone 3-3 wins in his group.
He's won.
He's won. Is it 3-3 or 3-4?
Let's have a look.
Let's have a look. We've got the brackets. They're working and everything.
Oh my god.
So. Boombox, the result hasn't been reported yet, but it is now 3-3.
Yes.
Aicy going 2-1.
Group A quite quiet, it seems.
Group A, they're keeping things a little quiet for now. Little bit of an update. Zeroy and Spacey Maisie have not started their match yet, as they wanted to keep things pretty close to the official start time of 3 PM. So we're going to be lining that up sometime, probably around 3 PM. All right.
Do you want to do that first?
We're gonna get a quick stream encoder restart because they're having some tech issues, and